Hello, so this is a really quick video on how to insert an image into your HTML file. So in our last video, I gave you a brief introduction into what HTML was and the rules of the tags. This time you're going to need to potentially install something onto your computer to code along with this. You can continue to use Notepad if you wish, but I'd really strongly recommend you get this great product called Brackets. It's open source, which means it's free, and it's a community-led project. It makes it very easy to create websites because it has lots of nice syntax highlighting and helps you organize your files a little bit easier. Okay, so the image tag, a little bit different to the other tags we've seen. Normally the tags that we've seen encapsulate a bit of text, so the paragraph or a heading or a subheading. This tag has no text inside it because it's an image. So you don't have an opening and a closing tag, you just have a single tag. So here you can see under the basic we've got IMG meaning image, SRC meaning source, and then smiley.gif inferring that we've created it's a smiley face, but that's the file name, and that will need to be saved into the same folder as the page that you wish it to be on. So a more advanced tag is we can add some additional attributes, and you won't be familiar with the attributes. We used them, I believe, when we did a meta tag and we said charset equals UTF-8, but it was quite sort of it was quite sort of esoteric, and I just mentioned it in passing. So these are attribute value pairings, and it's a way that we can describe the properties of a tag. So the tag here is the image tag, and you can see that actually, as well as the source where you can find the image, it's got a range of other things that you could add. So here alt means alternative text. So blind people use these things called, these bits of software called screen readers to read HTML aloud as sound, not as an image on a page. And so that's what will be read out when the computer came across this smiley.gif, because there's no use in them looking at pictures. And also we've got height and we've got width. Notice the syntax of this is that we've got a word, an equal sign, and then the rest of it is encapsulated within quotation marks. So I'm just going to go and add that to the bit that we were working on last lesson. So first of all, I'm going to open up brackets.io, which is here. It's a really simple, clean interface. You'll need to open the folder where your web page is kept. So I think I installed mine. I placed it last on the desktop. I've actually created a folder called web page and placed the page in there. So I just go click there and select folder, and now I'm in there. And you can see that on the side I've got index.html, and I can click on that, and it's got my code. I wonder if I can zoom in. That's kind of a bit annoying. Let's just try and, there we go, that might work a bit better. So I've got my page there. It's really fiddly. I think I've done the wrong thing there. Just give me a minute. Just sort it out. Okay. So I've got my page there, and that's what I made in the last presentation. Now, one of the things I would say is that it's best to tab your tags in, just because it makes it easier to read. The white space doesn't actually do anything. So what I've done is I've highlighted this. I'm using the Shift key and the up and down arrow with my fingers, and then I'm going to press the Tab key, that's the one above the caps lock, and just shift it in 4 spaces. And I'll do that as well with all the tags inside of tags. Just adding a bit of white space could just make things a little bit easier to read. So that's really nice. Okay, now what I'd like to do is I'm going to add in an image. So the first thing is I'm going to need to get an image. So I'm going to get an image off the internet. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to I'm just going to go and I'm going to open up the page in live view just to show you some of the functions of brackets.io. So I'm just going to click live view here, and all of a sudden I'm just going to pop that to the side, and boom. Okay, so as I did that, it opened up the Chrome browser, and this is what's really cool is this is live. So the few things I like, so as you click on a tag, it'll let you know where it is on the page. That's really helpful. You can see that's the hello world tag, that's the hi mum tag, and that's the body tag. And also, as I can edit this and it changes it live, that's really, really useful. And there's very few other HTML editors that will help you do that. So that's kind of the first step. Just move me down. There we go. Okay, so I've got the code in, and I said I would like to go and create, I'm going to go find an image on the internet. So again, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to type, I don't know, car. I'll just show you some little bits on Google. So you can use Google Images. The other thing you can do is use your tools on Google Images, choose usage rights, and then go label for non-commercial use or label for reuse. And then at that point, you can use without any worry about copyright infringements. I think I might also go for type and just do for clip art and see what happens there. Brilliant. Okay. So I'm going to use this car image. I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to go save link as. No, I'm going to go save image as. Now I want to save it into the same folder where my web page is. So I'm going to go to save images as my, for whatever reason I stored it on the desktop web page, and in there just make sure that it's a nice simple name. So in there I'm going to call that car.jpg and click save. It's downloaded there, but we know it's in the right place. And so now I can close this down. You will note that car.jpg has appeared here, and I can look at it. And I'm also now I'd like to insert my actual image, so I'm going to go img. Every time it predicts what I want to write, and I can select it. If you select something off the list using the up and down arrows, you can just click the tab which is above the caps lock, and it will choose it for you. Sorry, img space. And then in here, I would like to do the source. It was enter, not the tab, sorry. And then in there, it's actually prompted me what the source is. And in this one, it's car.jpg. And I'm going to put my alt text in. Alt, and in there, it's a car. And maybe also a height, which equals 100 px. I think that's right. Cool, let's see if it works. Well, nothing's happened because I haven't closed the tag off. So my tags have to have two angular brackets, and there they are. Absolutely fantastic. I want to just check whether that works without quotation marks around it. It does, but I believe it should have quotation marks around it because all value attribute pairs are separated with quotation marks. Cool, okay, so that's how you add an image. Nice and simple. Just going to go and get back to the presentation. Here we go. So that was the image tag, and I've shown you how to add an image. Okay, right, where's the image saved? So I gave you one kind of concept whereby you just store it in the same folder as your work. However, there's a caveat. You might, when you do web pages, it's really advisable that you divide up your web page into separate folders for each of the pages, and then each of those folders have folders within them for the images, and that just ensures that web pages have lots and lots of files associated with them, and so by having a folder for your images, it just means it's easier to find what you're looking for. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another image now, and I'm going to place that one into a folder just to make it a little bit easier, just to demonstrate what I mean. And so if you look at this, look at the URL for this now. The source has been updated and it's been added a folder there. So the /images/ means that within the folder for my website there is another folder called images, and then within that there is a GIF in this instance called stickman.gif. And so let's have a look at that. So I've got the image up, and okay, so within here, let's go and get another image. Car images. Ooh, settings, more tools, usage rights, labels for reuse. This time I'm just going to say that I'd like to have a purple car. Brilliant. Okay, so I've got that one there. I'm going to right click. I'm going to go save the image as. Right, now in here I'm going to create a new folder called images, and I'm going to save the purple car into there. Save, can close this one down. Now you'll note that within my brackets I've got a new image called purple car. Right, so let's go and get that image in the page. So again, IMG, I'm hitting enter to autocomplete, SRC, and in there it allows me to select images and then purple images car. Brilliant. And I can close that off. I'm not going to pop a height in. Maybe I will this time actually. Let's get them both the same height. I've just notice I've copied and pasted that, so let's Control C, Control V, and they're next to one another. I might want to put a line break between it, so it's going to go BR like that, and that places the next one on a separate line. Cool beans. Okay, so let's look at the other way that I can add an image, which is that I can actually add an image directly from a website. Now you might think, why would I want to do that? Because it's kind of a bit dodgy, because the website could take down the image and then your page would be left with an image which doesn't actually have which doesn't actually exist anymore. So it would just be a blank space with a cross in it, and that's not so good for you. However, it does allow you to navigate the very murky ground of image copyright. So before I was quite careful to make sure that I only chose an image off the website that was labeled for reuse, and just say you wanted to include something that wasn't labeled for reuse, the best way to do it is just to link it off their server, and then you're not actually hosting the image, the other server is hosting it. And so to do that, you need to sling the whole URL into the image tag, and I'll do that as an example now. So we'll get that up and we'll get here up, and so I'm going to look at another tag. This time I'm going to go car images. I'm going to here I'm going to choose tools, usage rights, label for reuse, color, green one this time. Okay, and so this one here, I've got the image, and now I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to go copy image address. So in here, let's close that down. So in here, I can go in, I'm going to add my BR tag, that's a line break, and then I'm going to go IMG, SRC, and then in there I'm just going to paste it in. Again, I'm going to close that off. It's too large, as we said, so just going to pop the height, copy that, Control C, space, Control V, delete the space, and we've got them all there. And they're all together. Absolutely fantastic. So I've shown you three ways to do the image. There's just the bare pop the image in. That's with just place it in the same folder. I've shown you how to place it into a separate folder called images. And finally, I've shown you how to get the image off a website. Cool. Okay, so I hope that you found that relatively interesting. You should hopefully now be able to insert images of various different types into your website and make them look a little bit appealing, more appealing to your users. So thank you very much.